Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about the new Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth set, and how that Magic the Gathering set is high. I feel there is a high probability that it will be impacting Dungeons & Dragons very directly because of its sales. So let's dig into this. So if you're not aware, this is the most successful Magic the Gathering set that has ever happened. People, like literally, Magic Gathering stores were saying that people were bringing in Power 9, classic Magic Gathering, Mox, Time Turner, old classic Magic cards, selling them to the shop, right, for store credit, and immediately turning them into taking, not even taking the cash, taking the collector boxes for Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth, and people just coming in, and then regular Magic the Gathering players coming in and buying them, Dungeon Masters coming in, having no intention of playing Magic the Gathering, but using the set to run Dungeons & Dragons, Dungeon Masters showing up because Dungeon Masters have been trained to buy Magic the Gathering cards when, essentially Wizards of the Coast explained these are unbound. Essentially Hasbro was saying Magic Gathering sets are unbound setting books, right? Like each page is a card. Here you go. Adventures in Forgotten Realms. Each, Baldur's Gate, Theros, Ravnica, trained to come in and say, yeah, you can have your player character, you can have your player write down, plate armor, or you can just give them the card, or it's just a much better, more physical, more tactile way to play Dungeons & Dragons. So you have Dungeon Masters coming in, then you have Lord of the Rings fans coming in, don't know how to play the game, have no intention of using it for its best purpose, which is Dungeons & Dragons, but just getting it because they want to see the art, they want to see the fresh new interpretation. Just so many, so you have Magic Gathering people coming in for, an MTG finance wonks, right? People who aren't even going to open the packs they buy, right? They're going to take sealed product and put it in their closet, right? So you have MTG finance wonks. You have MTG collectors. You have MTG players. You have Dungeon Masters. And then you have Lord of the Rings fans. There were so many groups seeking this product out that the collector sets, the collector booster packs blew off the shelves. I'm not sure I ever even saw one, right? And then you have set boosters, and then you have draft boosters, and then in addition to that, you have the starter pack, and you have bundles, and now there's a gift edition bundle on the shelves. There's so many ways to buy this product, and people are sweeping it off the shelves with both arms, right? And so what does that mean for Dungeons & Dragons? Well, it means a lot. Let's get into it. So basically, the biggest thing it means... So, first of all, let's look at the numbers, okay? Before Magic Gathering, you can go into my FLGS and say, give me a set booster of the latest Magic Gathering set, right? They're like, no problem, $4, please. Here's your $4, sir. Here's your cards. Transaction done. When Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth dropped, right, then the transaction changed. One set booster of Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth, please. $6, 50% higher than it was for the previous sets. Right? That is a very stark rise, right? That $6 price is now gone. If you make that same transaction, if you walk into my FLGS right now and say, I will take one Magic Gathering, Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth, set booster, please, $9, right? I'm like, wait, it was $6 a week ago. Yeah, now it's raised in price 50%, and that's after the One Ring has been found, right? The One of One Ring, right? That's after the One of One Ring side. And the reason why is the One Ring itself is going for $60, and if you get a serialized card, or if you get any number of these, even the Nazguls, everything in the set is just going through the roof, right? And so what does this mean for Dungeons & Dragons? Well, the reality is there is a drumbeat history, okay? Drumbeat history. Dominaria, Innistrad, Kaladesh, Kaldheim, right? Actually, Kaladesh, right? And then Ravnica, Theros, Strixhaven, D&D canon, D&D canon, D&D canon, D&D canon, D&D canon, D&D canon, right? Drumbeat, right? And why, right? Because this is symbiotic, right? Well, right now, Wizards of the Coast Hasbro is dealing directly with the Tolkien estate, right? And so they sat down with literally descendants of Tolkien's estate, and were like, hey, we want to create this, set, we want to do this interpretation. It has been massively successful, right? Millions and hundreds of millions of dollars minimum. Hundreds, a fraction of $1 billion. It's very likely. It's at least 1/10 of $1 billion. It could be 250 million. It's possible it could be 30 or 40% of $1 billion. This is real money. Money that even the Tolkien estate is going to listen to, right? So the obvious, right, is going to be, okay, we're going to do another set. We're going to do, Magic the Gathering, Shire Tales, whatever it is. But the reality is, Tolkien wants to expand their brand. They've done a deal with, they're talking with, it's not Gloria, I think it is Gloria Williams, right? Yeah, so it was Lorraine Williams, and I think the new CEO is Gloria Williams, right? And so, it's wild. Tolkien Estate is having conversations with Jeff Bezos and having conversation with the CEO of Dungeons & Dragons. So, the CEO above Dungeons & Dragons. That is astounding. That is a big comeuppance for Dungeons & Dragons, right? So, with this kind of money on the table, I really think Hasbro's going to say, hey, we just had a $207 million film, right? And there's discussion that even with all the problems in the movie theaters and without a solid delivery, there's still discussion of we have a relationship with Paramount. There could be a sequel to our Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, right? And the reality is, and you guys haven't had a movie in years, right? How about we bring Lord of the Rings to where everybody actually wants it? Canon Dungeons & Dragons release, right? And that is a true possibility at this point, right? And that's really, really, really exciting, right? Where even the announcement of it, that could be absolutely massive, right? And I think, and the numbers are so high, right, that I think Tolkien Estate, there's no reason in the world they don't want the Lord of the Rings as an official Dungeons & Dragons book. And the nice thing, too, is there's been a few little companies that have held the license over the years, all scrub, right? It's just amateur hour, right? Everybody knows you give this to Dungeons & Dragons, you got a real tabletop role-playing game. And that could take over Dungeons & Dragons for 5 to 10 years of nobody running anything but Legolas and Gimli and Arwen. It's going to be wild, right? It really would be huge. It would be huge for Dungeons & Dragons. And these numbers, right, these hundreds of millions of dollars, this unprecedented success in the Magic the Gathering League, they could have went with any CCG. Any CCG company in the world would have taken the license. But they went with the license where the worlds are canon to Dungeons & Dragons. And I think the road is being paved right now. A $9 set booster. $9 set booster. That is the most I have ever spent on any one Magic the Gathering pack. And in fact, I don't think I would have paid that. I went to my FLGS and I'll take one pack, please. And I was expecting to pay $6. And they're like $9. And I was like, what? And I was just too embarrassed to snatch it back and say, give me my money. Right, so I just bought it, but I will not buy. I'm not buying more packs at $9. And one of the things is, by playing in the pre-release, by getting the bundle, and by getting the starter set, I have more than enough. I definitely have enough to run my Dungeons & Dragons campaign. So I was very, very happy with that. I am positive that these outrageously high numbers for Magic the Gathering, you know, and like MSRP just being ridiculously ignored, right? Across the board, right? And like, I cannot tell you how powerful the demand for this set was. This is the first time this has ever happened. My family is dyed-in-the-wool Amazon people. We never, ever, like, we have never been disappointed with Amazon to this point, right? I ordered the starter set from them, and they delayed and said, we can't deliver. Do you want to cancel? And I was like, yeah, cancel, right? Like, and I thought I wasn't going to get the starter set, and it was sitting right on the shelf of my FLGS. Like, Amazon knows what they're doing, but this is a super high-end collectible, and frankly, it is hard to keep this stuff on the shelves right now, like, for a million different reasons. I'm positive that in my humble opinion, without a doubt, this money is paving the road to an official Dungeons & Dragons, Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth book. Exactly way Strixhaven paved the way for Strixhaven Curriculum of Chaos. Every single word of that's my humble opinion. What do you think? I suspect they will announce at Origins next year that we're getting official D&D LOTR Tales of Middle-earth. What do you think? And by the way, all they have to do is write it. All the art's already done. And the art is absolutely bonkers amazing. It is incredible. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.